and gentlemen, I take pride in introducing the greatest show on earth.
Hi, everybody. This is Scott Gordon, and welcome to the Uncle Floyd podcast number 50. On Thursday, October 16th, 2025, I went to see Uncle Floyd at the Rehabilitation Center. He had just finished his physical therapy for the day, and I got to meet Glynis, one of his therapists. She said he was progressing, and I thanked her for helping him. Floyd then got his lunch, and as he was eating, he and I chatted for a while. And when he finished his lunch, he admitted he was tired from the therapy, but he insisted that we do this podcast so none of you were disappointed. You may hear the fatigue in his voice, but he delighted in the get well and birthday cards that you have sent him. If you would like to send a card, you can send it to Uncle Floyd, care of Scott Gordon, Post Office Box 791, Paramus, New Jersey, 07653. That's Uncle Floyd, care of Scott Gordon, Post Office Box 791, Paramus, New Jersey, 07653. If you'd like to send a question for Uncle Floyd or me to answer, mail it to ufpodcast@sge-inc.com. That's ufpodcast@sge-inc.com. You ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. Podcast number 50. We've done 50 of these now, Floyd. That's amazing to me. Amazing that we got 50 of them in. Got a question from Ed Nudge. We're originally from Carteret. What are the stories and memories you have about meeting the Smithereens for the first time?
I've told the story many times on TV. Pat Denuzio was behind it.
Now, how did that happen?
He walked into the place I was playing piano called Stagehouse Inn. And his father said, "How does my son get on your show?" I said, "He has to have an audition tape." He says, "Oh, come on, cut the bullshit. What does he have to do?" I said, "That's not bullshit."
That was the Stagehouse Inn that you were playing in at that time, right?
Right, in Scotch Plains.
Okay, this is from Susie Tannenbaum. She says, "Didn't you have a sketch called A Day in the Life of a Food?" Who did the voiceovers for that? In particular,
Scott Gordon.
In particular, which one of you screamed when the human showed up to eat the food characters? It was very funny, but also very frightening. That's right. I was the one who did all the voices for that particular sketch.
Very funny, too.
And the best part of it is, neither of us had any idea what the other one was going to do for that. You brought in the food, and I had no idea what you were going to have. You just opened the bag and went for it. And I was off camera on microphone, and I just did what I was going to do. She seems to remember a similar sketch with something called Tweedlebugs that went on a picnic and gets stomped by a human. Do you remember that sketch? I don't remember doing that.
No.
I know we did a picnic sketch like that with Mr. Dill, the Pickle Man, Mr. Cathead, Mr. Snowman Head, are the characters in that. This is Andrew from Staten Island. Skip had the most infectious laugh I've ever heard in my life. Was it a conscious effort to have him laugh at all the bits, whether it was funny or not? He carried so many of them, he was amazing. So do you think Skip forced that laugh, or it was genuine on his part?
Genuine.
I agree. It was totally genuine. The easiest thing in the world was to make Skip laugh. And he wants to know if you could tell the Chinese laundromat less soap joke.
A lady walked into the Chinese laundry and she said, "Dear Chinese, next time use more soapy and panty, signed Fanny." The Chinese guy looked at the note and wrote back to her, "Listen, next time use more soapy, signed Chinese."
All right, that was Andrew from Staten Island. This is from Joe Montoto. Wants to know who you preferred, Officer Joe Bolton or Captain Jack McCarthy. Which one of the two was your favorite?
Officer Joe.
You liked Officer Joe. I liked Officer Joe too, but I preferred Captain Allen to Captain Jack McCarthy. He preceded him. He was before him in Popeye Theater. And Alan Swift went on to be one of the major voices in the Howdy Doody show and left. And that's when Jack McCarthy took over. Good question, Joe. This is from Luke Johnson in Emporia, Kansas. Besides Laurel and Hardy and Abbott and Costello, what double acts did you grow up admiring?
Joey, Faye, Mickey, Deems, Abbott and Costello.
Definitely Abbott and Costello. Luke also says, as someone who has done stand-up, what advice do you have for an aspiring comedian?
You gotta be half deaf.
Advice I would give is get out there and do it. Go out in front of an audience. Listen to the audience. There are too many guys who don't listen to the audience. If you listen to the audience, you know what they're going to respond to in the future. That would be my advice. This is from Kevin Dillon. When you were growing up in the 50s and 60s, what were your favorite toys?
Mr. Machine.
Mr. Machine. My favorite toys were my Lionel trains, and I had a Gilbert chemistry set. I liked that because I could make things that smelled really bad and annoy my sister. And we got a note from Hal Gold. What was the first entertainment gig you ever got paid for? Where was it, and what was the year?
1968, Gaslight Village, Lake George, New York.
Well, I don't know if mine would be considered an actual gig or not, but my grandfather worked for a very wealthy widow in Oradell. We knew her as Miss Ann. I played accordion for her. I was studying accordion at the time, and she gave me $5. Which in 1957 was a heck of a lot of money to give a kid, because you could get great candy bars for a nickel. Hal also says, Floyd, I'm sure you and your brothers had many early gigs. Was there a Vivino Brothers first band, and what was the name of it?
Vivino Brothers.
Are there any recordings? I can say yes, there are recordings of the Vivino Brothers. It's out there under the Vivino Brothers. There are several CDs under the Vivino Brothers band. I know of one song that has Vivino Cousins in there, too.
With Johnny Bello.
Right. Let's Have a Party Tonight was the song.
Yep.
From our good buddy Dennis DeLeo. He's got two questions. What were some of the least favorite bits you've done? Maybe required too much makeup or props that didn't work?
You answer that, Scott.
Well, the least favorite one for me was Ichabod's Squats. That character just didn't work for me for some reason. I couldn't get a hook onto the characterization, and maybe I'll show an Ichabod Squats sketch on the Tuesday night. This was the Uncle Floyd show. Every Tuesday night at 8. And you can get, if you want to see anything like that, it's sketches from the old show. And I host it live and I answer questions. You just go to theunclefloydshow.tv. It's theunclefloydshow.tv, and you'll find it right there. Dennis also says, how about guests that you weren't crazy about? And he says, please don't mention Blades and Bagels.
Blades and Bagels.
I knew you were going to do that. Now, any guests that came in and got too demanding about doing the show, about having a setup and come in with an attitude, we just tell them to leave.
That's right.
And the final question of the day is from Wayne McMahon in Dayton, Ohio. And I know we've answered this question before, but it's good. The opening theme song is quite an earworm. What are the origins of that tune? That's the Uncle Floyd Show theme.
I wrote it.
And you wrote it in less than 30 minutes. It was done very quickly and recorded because we could not use the recorded theme that we had been using, called With Variations. The songwriter of that, the publisher of that, wanted too much money, and we could not afford to use it. So Floyd went into the studio with his brothers and a couple other people, and they sat down, and on the fly, they wrote the song, edited it, mastered it, and had it all ready for the syndicators to use in the first show. It had to be done within 48 hours. It was done within 12. An amazing feat. Those were our good buddies, Lenny and Louis Argisi, who had the Bioya Studios in Totowa. Was that Totowa or Patterson there?
Totowa.
And they were magnificent recording engineers. I miss them greatly. Had a lot of fun talking with those guys and jamming with them when I had a chance. Great musicians as well. All right, that takes care of podcast number 50. And we ask you if you'd like to throw in a question, just like everybody here today did. Just email it to ufpodcast@sge-inc.com. That's ufpodcast@sge-inc.com. And I'll read them to Floyd. We'll answer them here like we did tonight.
Thank you, Scott Gordon. Thank you for your loyalty and your interest in making this broadcast what it is.
And we've been working together 49 years now, Floyd, you and I. And that'll do it for podcast number 50. Say goodnight to the folks, Floyd.
Good night to who?
Have anything else you want to say to the people before we leave?
Good night and God bless. You know who said that?
That was Red Skelton.
Right.
See, I pay attention. Very few people realize the Red Skelton show gave us Johnny Carson. He was one of Red's writers, and he took over when Red was sick. And keep your eye on the podcast subscription, and you'll know when the next one of these comes up. They'll let you know. And if you want to tell your friends how to get here, just tell them to go to unclefloyd.podbean.com. That's PODBEAN.com. See everybody next time.
At Tuesday, we have a date.
This program was produced in the studios of Scott Gordon Enterprises, Incorporated in Paramus, New Jersey.